Hello readers and Gorillaz people, and welcome back to GP Reads. I am actually doing a long-form video for once. What is happening? Well, what happened is the music video for Gorillaz The Mountain, The Moon Cave, and The Sad God came out, and I want to do a review of it. I'm going to do a frame-by-frame analysis, and then I'm going to give a theory at the end. I'm also going to be going over the YouTube Premium exclusive Afterparty and what actually happened there. Now, I can't show the video in its entirety, but I can do it like piece by piece and analyze it, basically. And I would definitely not include that in my Discord server. Now, we'll actually be doing a full review of the album as well, and I'm going to be ranking those songs for which one is my favorite, which one's my least favorite, but that's going to be a separate video. But stay tuned for that. It's coming soon. Probably this Friday. But yeah, good to be back, and good to be back in the Gorilla suit. Let's do this. Okay, so first of all, the music makes my soul go, oh, yeah, oh, just like that. So just wanted to get that out there. Alright, so we get that classic Disney look with the real animation with real paintings. Isn't it funny that an animated band is the people making the most real human-made products? The irony, it just cracks me up. And then we get the book, which is actually a book they really made. And there's actually a special technique for the way they turn the pages, but that'll be towards the end of the video. Gorillaz The Mountain, illustrated by Jamie Hewitt, music by Damon Albarn. And there's a table of contents here. Lost in the Jungle, the serpent Vritra. Ha, I was right about it being Vritra, but that means it is a dead deity. Transformation, reunion to the moon cave, and there's a prologue, but we can't quite read it. It's very blurry. Maybe we'll get that soon. Part 1, Lost in the Jungle, and we can see a sketch of the mountain in the background. Beautifully done. Jamie is quite the artist. Oh, the animation's so good. And it starts off with young Noodle dropping down into the trees. Now hold on to this. This will be important for the theory at the end. Looking like Mowgli in Jungle Book. She's adorable. This is very reminiscent when they first met Noodle, but it's not exactly, because it isn't her as a little kid. It's her like kind of right before Plastic Beach era, so more like Phase 2 Demon Days. And there is the plastic guru selling his snake oil. There's some people that caught that reference. Good job to you. And there's a bunch of trees cut down, showing that they are basically destroying nature to fuel progress, because I mean it's a billboard sign with lights selling the oil with the trees cut down. Very conservationist message there. And there is the remains of the dead dragon Vritra. Noodle climbs on Vritra, and it springs back to life, displaying the cycle of reincarnation, how things die to be reborn again. And as Noodle runs upon it, it awakens. And she doesn't really seem afraid of it, does she? It's like, hello, are you real? She rides upon the dragon, splashing her into the lake. And she swims by the 10th avatar of Vishnu, known as Narasimha. And now she's starting to develop into an adult, so she covers herself up for the developing pieces. Sorry, no nude shot for you all who wanted it. Still this dude's clothes. Why does it fit so perfectly though? And she is reunited with 2D. More than a close friend, more like a brother. Just like, hello, I'm just in the woods. But they all seem very surprised, like something just happened again. Again, it's going to come into play during the theory. And Russell, why is 2D holding a car steering wheel? Murdoc's just holding a cobra. Like, what? What happened? Russell wearing the glasses. And the curtain opens. A reference to Jurassic Park, revealing the beautiful mountain. Noodle suggests they need to move on to the mountain. And the band does that very weird walking animation that everyone's made fun of. To be fair, it goes along with the beat-up music. Gosh, I love the Moon Cave. It's such a good song. There's a flash there. It's just a flash of static. And one of the first things I noticed is that Murdoc and 2D are barefoot. When people go on a journey barefoot through the forest, it means they're going on a sacred journey. They're traveling across sacred land. So it's some kind of ritualistic or religious site. Murdoc decides to take a pee into the lake, and while doing so reveals his python to the python, and it falls in love. And then they walk by the statue of Ravana, another dead Hindu deity. Well, technically a Hindu demon. Tiger watches. And the snake gets Murdoc. And this, in a way, is yet another reference to the Jungle Book. Boone's just watching while eating a banana, just straight up. Not even holding it, just eating it. And then we get Noodle riding on Russell. A callback to Plastic Beach when she rode on the giant Russell. Still showing she needed him for support. He's still important to her. And the snake oil salesman is trying to sell to 2D. And did you notice he has the eyes? One of them is pink like Murdoc's, and one of them is normal. I think this is a very strong reference. I think we're going to get more to this in the theory, but I think there's a very strong symbolic reference there. 2D tries to buy it with a fly because he's broke, because there's a joke that Murdoc always takes all his money, doesn't actually share any of it with him, and it doesn't work. And then Murdoc just steps out of the woods and blows a kiss to the snake. So, don't know what happened with the snake there. That's, concerning. They continue to climb the mountain, and there's this, like, ancient shaman who's becoming part of the forest, basically. Russell's like, I don't trust this guy. Like, this doesn't seem right. And they arrive at a giant statue of Krishna. The 8th avatar Vishnu, often considered the supreme god, a god of compassion, love, and protection. Now I'm thinking that that giant head in the Moon Cave poster thing we saw wasn't actually Buddha. I think it's Krishna. And it makes a lot of sense since this is basically Hindu related. And the moon's right over top the statue. 2D looks up at the moon with love in his eyes, the beauty of the moon. And and they climb up to the moon cave. And when they arrive there, it is the cave of unimaginable beauty, where the strange folk were mining the minerals and gems. I can't prove that, but it does seem like that. We have all these like runes and like magic symbols on the wall that are glowing, which is super interesting. But you can see the sparkles. There's gemstones in them. And in the mountain song, you can hear the place where all good souls come to rest. So I'm pretty sure it's the same cave. Get this, I don't know, this silly bird who's really into it. And is that a reference to Bill's cipher? I don't know, it looks more like just the mountain with an eye on it. It is interesting though. And then all the cave paintings come to life and start like flying around the room in this crazy psychedelic sequence. Just start walking around. There's a tank for some reason. Reference to Tank Girl, maybe? There's someone sitting on the barrel, and it kind of reminds me of Tank Girl. Oh, and a reference to the one-eyed octopus thing that was in the On Melancholy Hill music video. The thing that came out of Cyborg Noodle's mouth. And with a pyramid on it, a dolphin. Like, what is happening? These are some crazy things. And then there is an alien spaceship sucking it all away. There's this giant deity holding a solar system over his head, holding a mountain in the background, and with a moon, sword, and a fish. Pretty sure that's Vishnu's actual form, but I'm not 100% on that. The yin yang turns into Bonesy. And then it looks like Pazuzu chasing the aliens for some reason. I mean, Pazuzu is technically a wind demon of protection. And then it shows Saturn, which is the planet that represents the devil. So I think it's either saying that the aliens are the devils, or it's saying that the devils are keeping the aliens away from planet Earth. A nuke goes off in the background, but everyone seems unfazed by it. And then this flower bursts this giant baby thing, whatever that means. Rebirth of the universe, maybe? And we get this not so subtle 9/11 reference, symbolizing how we continue to destroy ourselves and each other. And then he comes. The Ferryman, one of the avatars of Shiva the Destroyer, and the Gorillaz get on board. The thing about Shiva, he's not just a destroyer, he destroys so that things can be reincarnated and can start again. He's both creation and destruction. And everyone just watches peacefully as they sail off with him, the hand waving as if to say goodbye. The bands don't seem to know they're in trouble yet, they're all just kind of smiling as he paddles off in the slow boat to Hades, basically, passing all these deity statues. And then he reaches a point where he stops, and Noodle seems to know what to do. Oddly enough, she steps onto the side, looks at the band. They look back at her smiling knowingly. And then she mouths, "I love you," before jumping into the water, where she immediately sinks like a stone. 2D quickly follows her, followed by Russell. But then symbolically, Murdoc stays behind. And Murdoc is the one who wants to be immortal. He doesn't want to move on. He stares at the ferryman, who just gives him this creepy smile with these completely rotten teeth. And he nods to Murdoc. And even though he doesn't want to, he jumps in. And he quickly sinks as well. They all sink into the void, one by one, where they fade out of existence. But then they fall into the earth, at the dawn of a new day. And there's a flash of light, and then the mountain symbol, and that's where the music video ends. Everyone was so confused after this. They're like, are they dead? Did they reincarnate? What does this mean? All right, let's go back, and we'll give a little bit into my theory now. I know there's no after credit scene. I checked. Twice. But there is Bonesy in Indian attire, so you might want to stay for that. All right, so the beginning of the music video and the end, I feel are actually one and the same. I feel that it begins where it ends and it ends where it begins. And what I mean by that is when Noodle falls out of the sky as a child again, into the trees, I feel like that is her after she reincarnated. At the end of the video, when they all fall to Earth, she falls down, and then the loop begins again. They all meet up with each other again. Because remember how they all looked at each other like, oh, hey, nice to see you again. Like, man, we really went through something. That's why they had those expressions on their faces. This is right after they reincarnated the first time, and they're right back with each other again. They always find each other every cycle. They're bound by fate, bound for their love for each other as a family. It just keeps happening over and over and over again. So yeah, it is about them reincarnating. It is about them dying, but it's not about them passing on and becoming new people. Now, I've heard some people theorize that they think there's going to be an actual new band that would just have their personalities. I don't think Damon and Jamie would do that because the band pretty much is Noodle, Russell, 2D, Murdoc. I don't think they could take those characters away and it still be Gorillaz. Now, you could do something like them reincarnating into animals and just have their personalities, and then maybe next phase have them come back into themselves, but I don't think that's going to happen. If anything, I think there might be another part to this, or maybe two. I think there might be a second part where they go and visit the Hindu deities and basically go through the afterlife process to be reincarnated. I mean, because why else would they feature the Hindu deities so heavily if they're not even involved at all? Except for the avatar of Shiva and the statue cameos. And then maybe a third where they're reincarnated as babies, because Damon did mention that they would come back as babies. I mean, he did it as a joke, but what if he actually did leak it and it wasn't a joke, and they do come back as babies, and then have to regrow up within a music video, and then they're back to themselves at the end, or younger. Maybe this is how they make Gorillaz younger again, because they are getting pretty old. This is how they bring them back to a reasonable age through the reincarnation cycles. And I think the dragon coming back to life is very symbolic of that. It's the reincarnation cycle. This is all pointing to the cycle of reincarnation. And it does really tell the story of Gorillaz. It tells how Noodle went through hardships and then met the dragon, basically Murdoc. Or the dragon could represent the chaos of her turbulent life before being sent to meet the band. And then Noodle swimming across the water. It's like her coming across the ocean, coming from Japan to London to meet up with the band for the first time. And them traveling to the mountain again, because that's always where the destination leads. It always leads to the top to start again. And this could also just be referring to ego death. It doesn't have to be an actual reincarnation. It could just be they moved on from everything and they're starting fresh. And statue of Ravana, a dead Hindu demon, again showing more references to life and death, showing that even deities and demons must die and be reborn. Now the snake thing, that could be a reference to Paula Cracker and how that whole situation got started that caused 2D and Murdoc's main falling out, the cheating snake. But that is very concerning because Murdoc's wearing this very realistic snake jacket in one of the promo images. Is that the snake that fell in love with him? Did he kill it? That's a theory for another day. Now I think that the snake oil salesman, the plastic guru, represents a couple different things. Not only is his name reminiscent of Plastic Beach, and they show Noodle riding on Russell like on Plastic Beach, but he also references Murdoc's many bad deals, like with the Boogeyman, Pazuzu, etc. It's snake oil. Murdoc's not going to be able to live forever. He's not actually gaining immortality. It's snake oil, a fake cure. It's just delaying the inevitable. Because at the end, we saw that he too had to jump into the water. He too will die, and that's what that's in reference to. But he needs to, so that he can reincarnate, he can start fresh, he can have ego death, and become anew, because he's tied down by way too many things. Way too many bad deals. Way too many things own his soul. It needs to be set free. And again, I think the cave scene is just reference to the Fire Come Out of Monkey's Head music video and the story of the happy folk and the strange folk, but I don't think it's directly connected. It's just a reference to it. And what will happen if we keep mistreating the planet for financial gain? But yeah, that's my theory. What do y'all think about it? What's your theory about what happens in the Mountain music video? Alright, and then last but not least, we are going to get into what happened in the Afterparty, the premium exclusive Afterparty. Not everybody was able to get a hold of that, so I definitely want to go over that real quick. So basically, it was a behind the scenes, the making of, and I don't think it's the same one that was played in the movie theaters. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I didn't actually get to see that, but it's a special behind the scenes look at how they did the animation, what things were referenced from, what things were inspired by, and we're going to go over that real quick. First of all, it shows all the paints that they used to actually physically paint every frame. You can see the actual paintings they used. It's super cool. And then Jamie says, what's going on with Vishnu, confirming that was an avatar of Vishnu, and he actually refers to it as Vishnu, because I've heard some people try to correct me. It is Vishnu. Here's the audio clip of it, him saying it.
What's going on with Vishnu?
So we're like trying to push it back in the mist to make sure it feels like this big statue.
And then Jamie makes a comment on 2D's bum. He says 2D's great, but he's got a tiny little bum. Why did you comment on this, Jamie? What?
2D. He's great, but he's got a tiny little bum.
Oh, and they show the frame by frame animation. It is so cool. And then Jamie accidentally brags on his own work, like not realizing he's talking about something that he drew.
Well, you look at that cloak. Isn't that lovely? All those lines make sense. Oh, is that my drawing?
That's right. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know.
Hilarious. And they showed how the book was made using old world methods, and it is so freaking cool. And then they used strings to turn the pages of the book. Isn't that cool? They used clear strings so that it looked like it was turning, and that way the pages didn't all clump together. Oh, wow. And the logo itself, the Mountain logo, was actually lit physically. So kind of like pressure board. And they made the actual Earth using projections and a model. And all the water was actually made using smoke. The techniques used were just incredible. And that's how they did the animations. The little frames over top of the paintings. There's something behind the scenes of some of the creative directors, which is really, really cool. And it shows how Jamie was there for the whole creative process to put in the final edits and everything. He was very involved in the entire thing. Very cool Afterparty. Again, if you all saw the thing in the theaters, the documentary thing, was this a part of that? Because I heard that was like 20 minutes, or is this something totally new? I don't know. Either way, it's really freaking cool. And I wish everybody would have got to see it. I wish they wouldn't have locked it behind a paywall, but I mean, money's got to be made. But yeah, what did you all think? Did you love the music video? I think it's beautiful. I think it's so freaking cool. The way it's hand-drawn, the way it's all actually made by people was freaking amazing. Even the freaking, some of the animations were made by hand, like the earth and the smoke for the water. It's just so freaking cool. It is very vague, and people expected more. And I do actually expect more. I don't think it'll all be this produced. I think maybe it'll be some more traditional animated music videos, maybe some animatics. But I do think we're going to get a continuation to this story. At least maybe in a comic form, something. Explaining them going to the afterlife, like I said, and then maybe a third one, or maybe part of that second one, where they're reincarnated as babies, go through their lives again, and get back to where they need to be now. I don't know. What do y'all think? Let's talk about it in the comments. And if you're wondering why there's not more The Mountain merch behind me, or, you know, the actual albums on my shelf or on the floor over there, it's because they haven't come in yet. I don't know why, but they are delayed until like the end of this week or next week. It is March 2nd when I'm recording this, and it's still not here. The only thing that's come in is the Amazon exclusive deluxe edition. I mean, it is really cool. It's got like the animated clouds on the front, and it's got the picture book with all the images. Maybe next time I should not pre-order online and should actually go to the stores. I mean, there's less chance of me getting it, but is it coming? I still haven't gotten any updates. And that includes my special edition from the preview event. It's still delayed for at least another week or two. Oh, and just so y'all know, the Amazon edition did not include the live recordings. It is just those 4 bonus tracks. Disappointing, but at the same time, you know, it's still cool. I'll see you all for the Mountain review. But until then, as always, keep your eyes wide open, never stop reading, and remember, phoenixes always rise from the ashes.